I have so many people always telling me in my practice, oh, well, my brain likes to look for the worst case scenarios. Okay, so what I'm hearing is your brain has this amazing superpower. It can go from a single idea and explode it, have that snowball effect. We just need to change the direction. The good news is your brain already has that ability. We just need to shift it. So you don't need to relearn an entire process. We just need to shift your brain according.
Welcome, Madeline.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to chat more. We always have the best chats together.
We
All
do.
that's missing is a good cup of matcha, right? That's
It,
all that's all we're missing right now.
exactly. So I am so excited to talk to you about successful female mindset. Like it's a platform dedicated to helping women rewire the way they think about success, confidence, and self-worth. Through your work, you empower women to step into their ambition without apology and build lives that feel aligned from the inside out. I am so excited to dive into what it really means to cultivate a mindset that supports the life you want. So, when you say successful female mindset, what does that actually mean to you?
Well, for me, it was actually a powerful moment in my life story where I felt a need to redefine what success meant for me.
Mm.
For the longest time, I was brought up to believe that the academic life track was the way to go. And that's what a successful life meant. It was, checking all these boxes, getting the degrees, the title, moving up the ladder. And I got to a point in my life where I did achieve all of that. Everything looked great from the outside, but on the inside, my body was just not following. Everything was crashing. Everything was just completely off. And my doctor was the one telling me, you cannot keep going up at this level. Like your body is speaking to you for a reason. You must listen to it. Because let's face it, when we are social workers and therapists, we're really good at helping others. But when it comes to leaning into ourselves, it's a work in progress. So that was a big turning point for me where I really had to look into my life and go, you know what? If this is what the price of success looks like, I've been told that this is what I need to achieve. But if it comes at the cost of my health and my well being and my relationships around me, I don't know if I really want this. So that's how the page was born, was just really with my need to question what success means, what we are being taught a successful life is, and how to redefine it so we can live it in a way that's more aligned with us and what's truly important. I felt there was a lot of noise that needed to be cleared and to get really centered and kind of come home to myself and what's important to me, what are my values, my beliefs, and how I want to live my day-to-day life. Because that's all we get, right? We get today. We can't change the past. We have no idea what the future holds for us. All we get is today. So how can I bring more pockets of joy into my life? Because that to me, that is what a successful life is to create pockets of joy throughout my day and be with the ones I love.
You mentioned being a social worker and doing work that helps people. Can you tell us more about that? Tell us more about your work and your career as well, in your career as well as the page itself.
Well, yes, I have quite a diverse career. I spent about the first 10 years of my career, I worked in crisis intervention. So I specialized mostly in suicide prevention, intervention, and also postvention, helping families that had to deal with the impact of having lost a loved one. I also developed a specialty in homicide prevention as well. So that was really my career for the first 10 years of my life. It was all about how to save a life
Mm.
and how to do it quickly. Because sometimes you get someone who comes to you and they're going through a difficult time in their life, and you have weeks and months to work with them. But I also had clients that would come to me, and it was a matter of minutes and a matter of seconds. So I had to learn how to tap into someone's mindset very quickly so that we could keep them living longer and choosing to choose life so that we could work with them to help them get through this difficult situation and want to continue living and seeing all the beauty in life again because they just weren't seeing it anymore. So that was really one part of my career. And then another part of my career, like I said, I'm from the academic field. I did my bachelor's in psychology, my master's in social work, and I did a PhD in social work as well. Didn't finish it though, because that was part of my pivot journey. But so yeah, for about, oh boy, I want to say like almost a decade, I specialized in domestic violence and family mediation, helping women navigate those situations, understanding how to get through it, how to help the kids get through it as well, how to empower women to tell their story and decide what they need in a difficult situation like that. So that's really what all of my research was about. And also sharing the resiliency of women, just to highlight that, what we're capable of and what, faced with the hardest challenges in our lives, how we overcome them. So that was a lot of what my research focused on. And I've also spent 15 years in the academic field, but working more as a social worker with students. So helping them manage anxiety, depression, building their self-confidence, just navigating adulthood. So that's really been my career. It's quite eclectic, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It shaped who I am. It shaped how I see life. And I learned so much from the people I work with every single day.
You've worked with a wide range too. Like it's a big age range, but also a lot of different mental health areas there that you covered. As a person who is a survivor of a family dying to suicide, I want to stop for a second and just pause and say thank you. Like thank you for the work that you did with all of those different people because crisis management like that is so important and it's so near and dear to my soul. So thank you for your work all those years doing all those different serving all those different people and know that from like the other side, like as a family member of somebody, it matters a lot.
Mhm.
So I as you walked through that, I wanted to say what I'm just curious, I guess, what you learned about crisis intervention that applies to how you live your life now. Like, what did you take away from working through all of those crisis situations?
I think one of my biggest takeaways is the fact that you never know what someone's going through in their life.
Mm,
You never know, and how di like how life events affects someone differently. No one's going to live it the same way. Everyone has their own journey, their own path, and you never know. You never
mm,
know what anyone's going through. I think that was my biggest takeaway, and that really reinforced in me the need and also the messaging on my page as well, the importance of being kind
mm,
and just what can we do to be the energy that we would love to receive because we never know what someone's going through and we never know if we're going to be the person who probably is going to make a difference in their day on that single day, whether that's smiling for them, maybe it's giving them an encouraging word or holding the door for them or something. We never truly know the impact of what we do, but that is what I would hear in my office. Sometimes that is what would help someone cling to life and to choose to continue was the fact that, oh, well, this person was nice to me. This person helped me feel seen. This person believed in me. So that is what I'm going to hold on to. So we never know the impact and we never know what someone's going through. So that is the biggest takeaway that I have from my career and also the importance of enjoying where we are right now, asking for help, not staying alone with the difficulties that we're going through, to never hesitate to reach out for a helping hand. There's always going to be someone to catch it. And also I find it was also the idea that, okay, you know what? That idea slipped away. I was having a profound moment and unfortunately the idea slipped away. Hopefully it'll come back.
it
But yeah,
will.
it
We'll get you
always
back there.
does.
We'll get you back there. So before we do, maybe this will help and maybe not. I don't know. But you mentioned a pivot moment. You
Yeah.
talked about a pivot moment, and I want to know more about that and how you worked through and approached that.
Well, yeah, I definitely had a pivot moment in my academic journey because, again, I was always told, just stack those degrees, keep publishing, keep publish or perish. My, how I've heard that one. And it was always about doing more and more and more. And I got to a point where I was like, why am I doing this PhD? Am I
Mm.
doing it for myself or am I doing it to prove something to others? Am I doing it to show myself that I'm enough? Or am I doing it to show others that I'm enough by being able to add a few extra letters to my name? Why am I really doing this? And at the time when I was doing it, I was working full time. I'm a mom. I was, doing it full time, my studies full time. And I got to a realization where this isn't what I want to do anymore. Loved my career in academics, but I'm at a point in my life where I want to pivot and I want to do something different. And for so many people around me, first the first reactions were, well, don't do it. You have to keep going. You're so close to the end. Oh, come on, we're going to get to call you doctor. Like, just keep going. And yes, that's beautiful, but I need to do it for me. I need to do what's right for me. So I went a different path. I took that pivot. Even though so many people told me not to, I knew in my heart that that is what I needed to do at that time. I needed to focus on me, on my family, on my well-being, and I needed to live life. I could no longer live life chasing a carrot that was constantly being moved anyways. There's always something else being added to the list. I just wanted to live in the here and now. So that was the powerful pivot for me at
And
that
you
moment.
weren't in alignment. Like that's the thing I'm hearing is that it was not in alignment with what you were meant to do or meant to how you were meant to be living. So how did you work through getting into alignment then?
It took a lot of deep work, but mostly at the subconscious level. That's where I realized I had to do most of my work. I always tell my clients, if you want to do deep, profound change, and I like to compare my life to a cell phone because let's face it, we all live our lives with our phones, right? Changing the outer case of your phone will not do anything. It's not going to change your life or whatever. You have to update the programming. If you have to change the entire phone itself, then that's what you need to do. So I had to really do some deep work to understand what was my core identity, what are my core beliefs, what's driving me, what are my values, and also to cut through the noise, because the reason why I was living my life a certain way and it no longer felt aligned was because there were so many echoes from the past. And we have a lot of those in our heads, right? In our inner monologue, we have a lot of echoes from our past that are pulling us in certain directions or telling us how we need to live. We're handed a life contract when we came into this world. It's just that none of us read the life contract and we certainly didn't read the fine print. And that's how I felt about my life. I was like, I need to rip up that life contract. I need to completely redo it from scratch and I need to cut out the noise. And that itself can be so challenging because we always have that voice in our head telling us, oh, you can do this or you can't do this or no, you can't. What are they going to think? And it's such a convincing voice because it sounds exactly like us, but it's not. It's just echoes from the past, but they have learned to impersonate us. And that's what gets so challenging when you need to kind of do that cleanup because you're constantly telling yourself, well, if it's, I'm telling this to myself in my own voice, I wouldn't be lying to myself. Like this has to be true, but it's not. It's actually other people's voices or it's situations or experiences that your brain interpreted in a certain way. And sometimes we're still carrying beliefs or perspectives or a certain vision from maybe situations that we dealt with as kids. And our child's brain was just trying to handle it as best as we could back then. And I was like, is that still serving me now? Maybe I need to switch that up. So I had to do all of that deep work. Basically, everything that I do with my clients, I had to do with myself. So a very humbling experience, but it was so gratifying as well to be able to come home to me, to what
Mm.
I want, and to craft my own path, my own vision, and to create an identity at the subconscious level that works with me. And that's when everything else in my life started to align as well.
It's a beautiful story, honestly. It and it's inspiring to me, and I'm hopeful to others to trust their instinct and not be afraid to make changes that might feel scary to make the good come true. Honestly, like the dream can happen. You just have to take the next little step toward it. And you talked about drowning out the noise, cutting the noise. You've mentioned the noise a few times, and I need to know what you do to stay grounded then. How do you do that? Like on a super practical level. Like how do you cut the noise and how do you stay present?
I will start to say that it is an ongoing practice. We don't we don't do the work and poof, everything's done. It's something we have to work on every single day. I do a lot of daily check-ins with myself throughout the day. Whenever I see that my thoughts are not going in the direction that is supporting me and what I'm trying to achieve, that's where I kind of have to stop. I stop the narrative, take a deep breath. I inhale what I want, I exhale what I don't,
Hold on, let's
and
do that
I just,
together. I mean, like let's just
yes,
stop for a second. You inhale what you want and you exhale what you don't. It's
exactly.
that's an easy practice that any of us can do. I mean, I you could stop at any point in your day and inhale what you want and exhale what you don't.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want
if you
to
want to
you
take,
keep going. I don't want to interrupt you, but I did just want to say like I hate the word double click, but like that's what I'm like we need to double click on that. Like we need to say like okay, that is a simple easy not easy for everybody. Maybe you have to set an alarm on your phone or like whatever, but like it's a simple little thing that you can do once or twice a day to just like be like recheck yourself.
yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, if you want to intensify it, you put on one of your favorite songs as well.
Ah, you're speaking my
Because that
language, girl.
because that is one of the most powerful ways to activate it and take it to that next level. And it kind of takes away that pressure of you having to come up with your own thoughts as well, because music is so powerful, right? Especially if we listen to a tune that always brings us like in our best energy and our best vibe, it's going to do most of the work. So that's often one of the ways to kind of create that shortcut. Inhale what you want, exhale what you don't, and put on that great music to keep you going into whatever mood you want to be in. Music is a powerful tool that can help us, and it's a 2-minute tune. You don't even have to sing to the entire thing, but sometimes that's a great way to intensify it so you can do that shift very quickly.
I'll be singing. And also, I need to know what your music is. Like, do you have songs? Do you have a playlist? Like, how do you what is the song that Madeline puts on when she needs that moment?
I am I'm such a fan of the song Tell It to My Heart. It's just one of my go-tos.
Who sings
I
that?
honestly I hate that I always forget the artist's
Well, we'll
name, but
remember and
it's
we'll link it
tell
in the show notes. It's okay. But what
yeah.
else were you gonna say?
I just love any kind of good upbeat music, whatever's on the radio. I'm a lover of music. And sometimes listening to classical music is very powerful as well. Like that really just brings you to that next level. I don't know. I just love all music.
Me too. And it's the strings for me in the
Yeah.
classical music, like the violin. Like combine a violin with a piano, and my like it's like my heart feels at peace. I don't know how to describe it. It's just this beautiful. There's a song by Lindsey Sterling. I don't. And I'm gonna forget now too. But there's a song by Lindsey Sterling that was on. She just released some clip of it, and I watched. It was like a 10-second clip that showed up on my Instagram, and it reset my entire nervous system. Like I feel the music in a way that I can't even describe, which is honestly, Madeline, like this is why, with my podcast, the three tools that I have like in my tool belt that I like to talk about with my mindset are music, mindset, and movement. And when all three of those things can come together, like that is magical for me. So, that's when I joke like you're speaking my language, you're absolutely speaking my language. So thank you for that. And what I wanted to get into a little bit more when you were talking about the people, you never know what somebody's going through. Like you never really know. It made me think of this beautiful image that I see different versions of it, and maybe I even saw one on the successful female mindset. But the image of people walking through like a crosswalk, and then there's like or
Mhm.
like on like a freeway, and like there's little words above it that say like "Dad died today." lost job today. Kid got
Mhm.
sick today. Like, and it's just, you just never know like what somebody's going through. So how do you like reach out? Like, how do you how do you be the difference in the world that we want to see?
I It's all about simple gestures, right? That is really, for me, it's the easiest thing to do, just to be there for someone and find a way for them be to be seen, heard, and validated. Just by telling someone, "Hey, I'm seeing you, I'm hearing you." Like that is so powerful in itself. To, again, like I mentioned earlier, just smiling to someone, giving them a kind word or an encouraging word. You never know what they need that day. Or even telling someone, "Hey, I've noticed this about you. You are very good at doing this thing. This is showing attention to detail, and this is showing that you are taking the time to see this person, understand how they work, and notice that one thing that they do really, really well." And who has ever not appreciated having someone tell you, "Oh, I really appreciate how you're like your penmanship, or how you're always showing up in a great mood, or you're always doing this, or you're always doing that." It's that attention to detail, just taking a moment to really stop and notice the people around us and what is it about them that makes them unique, or why do we specifically appreciate them? And to tell them, to share it, not be afraid of it. I'm always asking myself, what are we so scared of? Like, why are we so quick to hold back on giving away compliments?
Right.
Like, it baffles me on the internet. We're very quick to go in the other direction. But when it comes to giving people compliments and telling them what we appreciate about them, "Hey, I love your voice. I love how you spoke up here. I love your ideas. I love your perspective." For some reason, we shy away there. And that is definitely something that we need to encourage more of. And another one that I find is so important as well is when someone does confide something in you or wants to talk, just to ask them, "How can I support you right now?" Because more often than not, we kind of get into solution mode, right? Someone comes to us with a situation, we're like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you how to navigate this." We can't. We are not them. We do not know what their life story is. We do not know what they're going on. We know nothing. So who are we to come and say, "This is what you should be doing"? How about we just ask them, "How can I support you? Would you like me to sit with you in silence? Do you just need me to hear you out? Do you need a hug? Do you need me to get you a little piece of chocolate? Like, what do you need? How can I support you?" And that's sometimes the easiest thing to do, is just asking someone, "How can I help you right now? What do you need from me?" And then we get to decide how we can help in return. Like, there's also that, but just asking someone, "What do you need?" and not to decide in advance the help that we think that they need.
It's a powerful question. How can I support you? How can I help you? And it's interesting that you should say that because it's actually part of what I have found to be part of my abundance mindset, right? Like, and abundance and gratitude are like at the heart and soul of everything for me. So and they are super related because I find that they both used properly together, they both change literally everything. So
Mhm.
asking how you can help is such a good insight because that, opens doors, and
Mhm.
it's especially, I mean, obviously when it's sincere and real, it can change so much more than you even know. So speaking on mindset, like, was there a moment when you realized that your mindset had to change or shift before your circumstances could? And can you walk us through like what that looked like?
Absolutely. For me, mindset is the foundation because that is what dictates everything. If and it's so important to understand how your specific mind works as well, so that you can work with it and sway it and get it working in your favor rather than having it work against you. So you kind of have to become really buddy buddy with your mindset and understand how it works and understand how your mindset works specifically and what's holding you back, because we often have different things holding us back. We can have our mindset, our thought processes, our beliefs, all these things that we inherited through our life journey. But there's also just how our brain is hardwired to protect us all the time, right? It loves us so much that it's like, "No, no, no, I don't want you to step out of your comfort zone. I don't want you to do things that go into the unknown. Let's stay in this little safe space that we know really, really well." And often that is when we need to have a conversation with our brain and go, "You know what? I get that you're coming from a kind, caring, and loving place, but right now I need to do this for me. And it's okay for me to step outside my comfort zone because I know that that is where beautiful things are waiting for me. So there's all about that with mindset. And again, using it to work for you, not against you. I have so many people always telling me in my practice, oh, well, my brain likes to look for the worst case scenarios. Okay, so what I'm hearing is your brain has this amazing superpower. It can go from a single idea and explode it, have that snowball effect. We just need to change the direction. The good news is your brain already has that ability. We just need to shift it. So you don't need to relearn an entire process. We just need to shift your brain accordingly. I know I'm like that. My brain is like, grab one idea and like poof, it'll go into a million directions. But it's learning to shift my brain and go, yeah, you're right. What if it goes well? What if it all works out? And then I just tweak my brain to go into the other direction and really actively force it to look at the positive outcomes and to not be so scared of shortcomings. We are so scared of falling, which I always find so interesting. And, I live in Canada, we've got snow. And every single year, I'm scared of falling. But you know what? It happens every year. Every year, there's a little piece of ice I did not see, or I slip in the snow, I fall. And I always tell myself, listen, I could just stay there and be like, okay, I fell in the snow. This is it. Like, just leave me here. Find me in the spring. Or I can just, I can just get back up and keep going with my day. That is the worst thing that can happen is that I get up and I keep going on with my day. And maybe one or two people saw it. And well, of course, I'm in Canada. Everyone's going to be rushing over. Are you okay? What can we do? But we have to stop being scared of falling. And we have to, again, that's another mindset shift that we need to make when we are rewiring our subconscious to teach our brains it's okay to try things because no, I will not fail. The only thing that I will have is I will gain experience, I will gain a lesson, I will realize, okay, we tried that didn't work, we need to try something else. There can only be a win, but you need to retrain your brain to see it that way because your brain likes to look for danger all around and you need to teach it, no, it's okay. There's actually wins out there, and that is what we need to focus on. So it's a lot of deep subconscious work at that level.
The part of your brain that can is strong enough to picture everything going wrong is also strong enough to picture everything going right. Like that's what you said in a few less words, and it's genius because like what if instead of asking can I do it, we say how can I do it? And it's not
Mhm.
it's a small shift, and I do believe that it's a muscle. Like I do believe
Mhm.
that as you start to do this work and you start to recognize, okay, I fall down every winter, but I get back up. And I don't care what other people think when I fall down because it's cold and it's icy and it happens, right? So you just keep getting back up. And
Mhm.
the muscle it's a fascinating switch. So I'm grateful you walked us through how that looks because it's something that it takes practice, but you're never going to get there if you don't practice it. So, and one of the barriers to that I feel like is feeling exhausted or tired or burned out or overwhelmed as I'm sorry, but a lot of us do. Like a lot of us,
Mhm.
men and women alike, but women in particular, high achieving women are secretly walking around dog tired. So how do you define success in a way that doesn't cost us our peace?
I don't think we can define what success because we're like you said, we constantly go around with these 3 million mental checklists and the mental load and all of that. And it's trying to navigate it as best as we can every single day
So
because
what's the
that's
difference
all
between being successful and feeling successful? Like what how do you work through that?
deciding what is a marker of success for you. If for you being successful is the fact that you woke up, you were healthy, those around you are healthy, everyone was fed and everyone had a roof over their head today, then there you go. That is success. You get to decide what a successful life is. It's up to you. No one else can decide it for you. We've been told like that we have this giant checklist of things that we're supposed to attain. You're probably like me. We are constantly told every single day our house has to be perfectly organized at all times. We have to make everything from scratch. Everything needs to be organic. Like we have to work out. We have to do this. Like we somehow have to get 150 grams of protein every single day. Like it gets so much. And it's take the list down and what's really important, what's really going to make a difference. And I remember I had heard this on another podcast, and I just thought it was like the most fabulous thing ever to ask yourself, will this matter in 5 minutes? Will this matter in 5 weeks? Will this matter in 5 days, in 5 months, and in 5 years? And if the answer is no, then it doesn't really matter. In 5 years, it will matter to me that everyone was safe and happy in my home. Whether they had the perfectly organic snack right off, listen, I'm going to do the best I can. So we just have to shift our focus and make a shorter checklist of what a successful life means to us. And then it's how can we bring a little more joy? Like I said, it's pockets of joy every single day. How can I take something that I need to do anyways and just have a little more fun with it? Because we cannot add more onto our plate. We just can't. There's no more room on the plate. We need to clear things off. How can I have more quality and focus on that rather than focusing on the quantity of things? How can I have more quality time, more quality conversations, more quality moments? That is how you get out of that burnout and everything. Because otherwise, if it's just adding more, you're going to be more exhausted. But if you're taking off things, notice how your shoulders are probably feeling right now. The idea of taking things off and just enjoying more of a moment, you're probably a lot less stressed in your shoulders right now, right?
Yes. I mean, and you spoke to joy, which is my like my one of my favorite words because you talk about choosing joy and it sounds like this like super ethereal, hard to define thing or not. I mean, it really doesn't have to be. And that's what I find is that I associate joy with gratitude, honestly. So
Mhm.
as you may or may not know, I have a practice on social media that I call Joy from the Ground Up, where I ask people what they're grateful for on
Mhm.
as close to a daily basis as I can, just to stop and say, hey, stop the scroll and find something right now that you're grateful for. It could be, and the thing is, you get more of what you look for. So like
Mhm.
you're practicing to look for the joy and to look, and it doesn't have to be something huge. Like it could just be that the sun is shining today. Like you and I both live in a place where it's dark and gray and cold and miserable this time of year, where it's just it's you have to find a way to create your own sunshine, and it's
Mhm.
that too is another muscle that we practice with. So how do you I mean, I'm trying to think like how do you do that though? Like I know how to do it because I've been like I practice it every single
Mhm.
day, and it can be difficult, particularly if somebody's like feeling stuck or feeling behind. So like what's a small mindset shift that somebody who is, I guess, feeling stuck or behind could make today? Just one small thing to change things for better for them.
when In order to take away that overwhelm, and for some people, like you said, that jump to joy is quite a big step, and we don't need to make it right away. Sometimes it's just saying, what is the tiniest little step that you can take today that is taking you a little closer to where you want to go? What's that time? And it can be the tiniest little step. It can be just sitting down and reading one page of a book because you know that that is something that will make a difference in your day. Then sit down and read one page. If that's all you can fit in, do that. If your goal is to read a whole book, just focus on reading that first page. It doesn't need to be big. If for you, your goal is to just sit down and take a breath, how many of us actually stop to just take a real breath in a day? We're constantly like just breathing it out. And honestly, we're sometimes we're so close to hyperventilating, but it doesn't really show. So just taking the time to just actually just take a deep breath, to just breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. It can be as simple as that. That right there, that is a gratitude moment where we are being grateful for the ability to breathe, and we are joyful about the fact that our body remembers how to do it, and we don't have to think about it. So it can be, it's all about deciding what is successful for you and how can you be more present in those moments. So before we go into joy, it's just how can we just be more present and just acknowledge what is working right now. Doesn't have to be great or anything, just what is working right now. Hey, I can see right now. My eyes work. I'm going to focus on the fact that I can see color. I can see birds. I can see, I can see all the colorful books in your background. I can see all of those things. Let's just focus on that. Let's just focus on all the things I can see around me, on the things that I can touch around me, on the things that I hear. Just take it down a notch. And we have to stop putting that pressure on ourselves. And I think that that is something that we have a lot right now is it's all about always doing more and everything feels so big. And that was also part of my journey about having like a success mindset is everyone's always like, oh, you have to find your purpose. You have to find your thing. It always sounded so big. I'm like, that's scary. How can we take it down a notch? So I'm always telling people, like, if you're telling everyone we have to go climb that Mount Everest, of course we're all gonna freak out. Like that mountain is huge. How can we just talk about? Can we just talk about taking that first little step? So let's take it down a notch. Just take off that pressure and just focus on being.
Quick before you forget, what's one truth about success that you wish every woman deeply believed?
Take care of you. To take care of you and listen when your body is talking to you because your body is your biggest ally. So listen to it. If it's telling you something's off, please listen to it.
It starts with you, honestly, and that speaks to the self-love element of things where, I there was an illustration at a conference that I went to about a vase, and I think I may have shared this story with you once already. So I apologize, Madeline, but I know I haven't shared it on the podcast. So there's a story about a vase and how, a lot of, especially women, but it can be men or women, but especially women have this moment where they're this vase, and this is my cup that I'm showing you, but they're a vase, and they pour, and like the vase falls over, it cracks, it breaks because they're constantly pouring from it. And it was this was a huge shift for me because I realized at this conference, I realized that you can also, instead of doing this and this and this and breaking, you can just stand tall and
Mm-hmm,
let the world and the goodness and all of the self-love like pour into you first. Like it was a full shift for me because you can let that happen. You can stand tall, you can have it happen, and then it overflows.
mm-hmm,
It's this beautiful thing. Like it was so foreign to me as like a full-on people pleaser my whole life. I realized that I was actually a better people pleaser as somebody that took care of me first. Like you have to take care of loving on yourself, and it will overflow. It will have the impact that you hope it will. But that's a scary thing too, because you have to just trust that eventually the vase will overflow. Because sometimes it feels very very empty because of all the things, right? Like you talk through all of the different obligations and the overwhelm and just like everything that can happen, and it's like it's a heavy load.
mm-hmm,
But you can also like find find the love in it for yourself.
mm-hmm.
So um I I'm so grateful for our conversation, and I mean, I could talk to you for hours. But I want to know, like, what is a relationship or a connection that shaped who you are?
That would definitely be my husband.
Oh,
He is the most grounding force in my life. Um, that's not okay. There's my son too. Okay.
right. So your
But
family.
just my family, but definitely my husband. He just he grounds me and he brings so much perspective to everything and he helps me navigate it. We're a team. We go through this together. So I have to give him credit for a lot of that. So yeah, love that he's a philosopher too. Like he always has a way of bringing perspective or helping me see things in a different way. So Yeah, I think he would be one of those meaningful connections,
We
definitely.
need something, we need people like that in our lives who can kind of balance and complement things very well. And I want to know, like, what would you tell your 22-year-old self if you could?
I'm my 22-year-old self. I would tell her that it's okay to slow down.
Mm.
You are enough and be enough for you.
Whew, I felt that in my heart. I needed to hear that today, I guess, because I literally like I took I if you're not watching, first of all, go watch instead of listen because the watching is more fun. But if you're not watching, I literally you can see like I literally like breathed a deep breath and felt better that Madeline was saying that. So because you're so good at doing that, I want to give you like a megaphone and say, hey, Madeline, if you had everybody listening to you right now, you had this megaphone and you had one message that you could communicate that you know that everybody would hear, what would you say?
I would say to just be kind to yourself, give yourself love, and give yourself grace. You are showing up every single day. Celebrate that, own it, treasure it, and know that everything that you are doing every single day, you are doing for you. And you are doing it for every past version of you, and you are doing it for every future version of you. So do it for you. You are enough for you.
Ooh, thank you. I like
We had a
I
full circle moment today.
we did, and it's beyond any comprehension, quite honestly. So I have a couple to wrap us up. I have a couple of like more quick hitting things you can talk about longer. It doesn't have to be like a one sentence answer just because I said quick
Okay.
hitting, but there's more of like a quick hitting run through with a few questions. So I'm going to start with quick before you forget. Start the thing now or wait till you're ready.
Start it now. Don't wait. Go for it. If it's in your heart, if it's calling you, go ahead and do it because life is happening right now. Stop throwing it in tomorrow land. Okay. We're in today land and we are embracing it.
Heck yeah, we are. Quick before you forget, what matters most to Madeline right now?
My family and my health.
What does resilience actually look like on an ordinary Tuesday?
It's a reminder that not just me, but anyone, we've overcome so much and we have survived 100% of all of our days. We have survived 100% of every season in our life so far. And it's to trust that because we've survived all of this so far, we can survive anything coming our way. We've done it before, we will do it again.
Do you have a song? We talked about songs that made you feel grounded and feel good. Do you have a song of survival? Like, is there one song in particular that like pops out as like, this is the song you put on when you're low and it brings you back?
I know this might sound weird to say, but anything from Nickelback it just helps.
It's not what
Such
I
a
would have
huge fan.
expected at all. And I'm here for it. Tell me more.
I just find that everything that they sing about is like you can go through a whole life journey just by listening to one of their albums because especially one of their first breakthrough album, I just thought it brought me back and it helped me put things into perspective and it just reminded me that there is good out there. We can overcome things. I don't know. I like the messaging in their songs, so
That's
I
good.
can't feel bad after hearing one of their, I don't know, just singing along to their songs. I know I'll feel instantly great after because whatever I need to work through, I will work through it with them in their song. And then afterwards, I can exhale it out.
Yes. We breathe in the good and exhale out the bad. I had to remember the trick, but I got it. Madeline, picture your 80th birthday. Okay, so we've done some past, we've done some present, and now we're going to do some future. So picture your 80th birthday. I know that the who part is hard. Like who do you want there? But the what is important to me. So what do you want people to say about you on your 80th birthday?
Uh, I want people to, I want people to remember how I made them feel. And
Mm.
I want people to remember that this is someone whom I felt safe, I felt comfortable, and I felt seen, heard, and validated with. That for me is, if I can do that, I've lived the best life ever.
Yes, you have. And I can say already that, of course, we're a ways out from 80, right? But I know that you've done that for me. And that's why I'm just so grateful that you're here because, I had a really good conversation with another guest named Jason Fitz, and he paid me I think the best compliment that I've probably gotten in a long time, which was, first of all, he cried twice in our conversation, and he's a sports guy, so he didn't expect to cry. He was kind of embarrassed that he cried, but then at the end he was grateful that he cried because he had feelings that needed to come out. And the compliment was that I made him feel emotionally safe. And
Mm.
that was honestly like I put that on my tombstone, right? Like that is a good that so it doesn't surprise me that you said what you said because we're friends and I know you and I know I just know how good you are at that. And I'm personally grateful for everything that you do to make the world a better place. And I just needed to say that because I can already say as your friend, but as a follower and somebody that's watched what you're building, you're doing it. You're living the dream, and you've been inspirational to me. So thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to add or share?
I think that's something that is just really important to me is I just want everyone, the biggest takeaway today is be kind to yourself and be kind to someone else. I would just like to challenge everyone to do that today. Be kind to yourself and be kind to someone else. Let's create that ripple. Let's be the change that we want to see and let's put it into action. Let's go. Let's do it.
It's easier with people that agree and are doing the same thing. It's just like we're all doing it together, and that's a beautiful thing. So thank you, Madeline. I appreciate you. And that is all for this time. So I'll see you next time on Quick Before You Forget. Thank you for being here with me today on Quick Before You Forget. Please like, share, and subscribe as that helps the show so much, and I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time on Quick Before You Forget.